Welcome back. Now, according to Naukri JobsSpeak index, we saw a robust 9% year-on-year and month-on-month growth in the IT sector. Remember, this was a sector down. AI-related jobs have seen a robust jump of 36%. GCCs continue to hire. FMCG was the bright spot this time, though some sectors like BFSI retail continue to see a decline. So to talk more about the trends, the way forward, Pawan Goyal, the Executive Director and the Chief Business Officer at Naukri.com, is with us on the show. Pawan, thank you very much for joining in. This is Reema here. So first, give us the key trends and the numbers from your Naukri report, JobsSpeak Index.
Okay, so as you mentioned, Naukri JobsSpeak is up 9% in December. Now, I think the interesting thing, if you look at, since December is also the year, calendar year end, you can look at the year as a whole. So what you saw in Q1, the JobsSpeak was -10, and getting into calendar year Q4, JobsSpeak went to +7. So every quarter, JobsSpeak has improved from -10 to -5 to +5 to +7 for Q4. So it's a story of recovering white-collar jobs and in this calendar year. Now, if you take from an IT perspective, IT is flat overall from the year-on-year comparison perspective, but as you clearly called out, GCCs are growing at a 15%. The other story that stands out for this year is while Indian job market was a lot more dependent on IT, this year there's been more secular growth across industries. So the non-IT sectors such as FMCG, oil and natural gas, travel and tourism and hospitality, FMCG, these have all done well and have contributed to the overall growth in white collar.
Pawan, one particular trend that stands out is actually the FMCG hiring growth. You just mentioned that, other sectors apart from IT have pitched in this time around. 18% growth in this particular index as far as FMCG is concerned. What led to this particular kind of strong growth? And is this sustainable or is this a one-off?
So we've seen FMCG being the top sector even in Q3. So it doesn't look as a one-off. Now, whether it will sustain, it's gazing into the crystal ball, which I'm not well positioned to do. But it's not a one-off is all I can say. Now, one of the things, if you delve deeper, consumer durables have done well within FMCG sector as well. Okay, the consumers and what we've also seen is this is some of this growth is there in not just in metro but non-metro cities as well.
Retail has been subdued. Is it just a post-festive demand sluggishness seen in the month of December, or retail has been weak for some time now? And just to continue that point about FMCG, your report also talks about fresher hiring picking up to 18% in FMCG. And that's the highest growth rate that we've seen at least for some time now. So explain that to us. What could be the potential drivers for that?
Fresher hiring, as you know, was subdued throughout the year. Okay, this is the first time fresher hiring has picked up, and that too it's driven by FMCG, wellness, lifestyle, creative industries such as architecture. Those are the places where it has grown. I believe that usually fresher hiring is driven when the your pyramid is not well balanced, as in you started becoming top heavy. And so my suspicion is in FMCG, they did not hire fresher for a while, and this is positioned for future growth, and that's when you usually hire freshers. So that's what is happening in FMCG. Now, throughout the year, what we saw, not just in FMCG, across every other sector, was experienced hiring was the focus. But now fresher hiring opening up, not just for FMCG, but other sectors also is an indicator usually of future growth.
Pawan, one particular sector, while there has been growth throughout, one particular sector that stands out in terms of a degrowth of quite weak hiring trends is actually the BFSI pack. Both banking as well as insurance has seen hiring go down. What is the reason for this, or do you think this is seasonal in nature and by Q4 we can see a rebound there?
No, so seasonality is captured because it's there. We are doing year-on-year comparison, so seasonality is captured. So the reason is very hard for me to give you, but it's not a seasonality driven, is what I can really tell you.
But is it because of increased regulations, regulatory action on the NBFC side that BFSI has been a bit weak? And for how long? Can you give us some historical trend to how BFSI has performed in terms of hiring? Because I remember some conversations with companies like TeamLease, Quest, and they also spoke about softness in BFSI hiring.
Yeah. So how long it will last is hard to predict, Reema. What I can say is BFSI, if you go back a couple of quarters, was doing very well. It was actually one of the sectors which was growing very fast. Okay. So what has changed from a BFSI point of view? I think you're right to allude to regulatory landscape, but is that what has driven it? It's hard for me to comment. And from a Naukri platform, what we can see is the actions. We don't have the reasons behind those actions. And I, as a job platform provider, I don't want to speculate on the reasons of why it might have happened.
Pawan, one last question. Could you give us a trend or a sense of how exactly Q3 billings have panned out as far as the platform is concerned?
Sorry, we are in the quiet period. I can't talk about that. There is some other interesting trend that we did not touch upon that I think you may want to know. If you were to take a guess on which state was growing the most, you'd normally guess state with one of the metros. But you may be surprised to know Odisha is the state which has grown the highest year on year. Okay, overall from a calendar year perspective. So Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. These are the top 3 states in terms of year-on-year growth. Okay, and I find that interesting because it's not something that I would have normally imagined.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Pawan, for joining in. We look forward to these conversations which give us a color on the economy and the hiring trends on the ground. Thank you and wish you, your team, your family a very happy new year. And that conversation brings us to a close on Trading Hour. From the entire team, thank you for watching. Don't go anywhere. Halftime Report is up next.